starts now.
Good evening. A Troy restaurant owner cleaning up damage at his business after police say a 14-year-old boy went on a joyride that ended up with him right there crashing into the restaurant's patio area.
That's right, and this entire incident was caught on camera, as you can see here. We spoke with the restaurant's owner, who says he's just glad things weren't worse. Shocking video catching this 14-year-old boy crashing a stolen car into this restaurant patio area Wednesday morning. You then see him here, open the car door and run away.
Just saw the destruction that happened in a split second.
It happened at the Twisted Fiddler in Troy before they opened for the day, destroying the majority of their patio furniture. Owner Tim Taney says the restaurant even has barriers in place as an added safety measure, but that the child was driving so fast, it didn't make much of a difference.
That car just blasted right through the cement barriers, took out lampposts and parking meters, and all I could think was thank God it didn't happen later in the day when there was a patio full of people.
This is the route of the teen's joyride, according to police, stealing the car near 6th Avenue and driving it through the area before ultimately crashing into Tim's restaurant near the corner of 1st and State Streets, a more than 2-mile, 10-minute journey. Troy police say the 14-year-old boy was arrested nearby on Congress Street and referred to the youth justice system for the alleged stealing of a vehicle and damaging property. He was then released to his guardian.
Hard to understand what was going through his mind. I guess the one question I would ask him is, what the heck were you thinking? Hopefully he learns and thinks about what could have happened if there were people on that patio, people's parents, sisters, brothers, sons, daughters.
Tim says something like this has never happened at his restaurant before and hopes steps can be taken to prevent this from happening again.
Obviously, these cement barriers that were there weren't enough. Is there something else that we could put there? We should all kind of think about what we could do to make sure that our diners and our customers are safe, but also not go to that knee-jerk reaction of, hey, we better not have people outside anymore.
Now, this incident happening the same week a 17 and a 19-year-old were shot in the city. We did reach out to Troy Mayor Carmela Mantello today to ask what's being done to curb youth crime in the city moving forward. We have not yet heard back.
All right, how about we take a look outside right now? We are looking at the city of Albany from our East Greenbush camera. A little haze over the Empire State Plaza.
A little windy, too. There, the trees moving there.
The bushes moving there.
Let's send things over to meteorologist Sam Copeland for a check of that forecast. Sam.
Yeah, hey, Amani and Greg.
All right, awesome. Sounds good. Thank you, Sam. We are in the middle of the busy summer travel season right now. Tonight, we're learning ahead of the upcoming holiday season. There will be more options at Albany International Airport.
That's right, and CBS 6's Sam Israel has the details on the new direct flights announced just today.
So we're just very excited.
New legislation in the Senate that would cap prescription drug costs if passed and signed into law. The bill would cap costs at $2,000 for individuals and $4,000 for families. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand announced the legislation earlier today, saying in part, no one should have to risk their health by skipping refills or rationing life-saving medication because they can't afford the cost of their prescriptions. Adding that she believes the legislation would be life-changing for older adults and those with chronic illness.
Well, the International Olympic Committee announcing that Salt Lake City will host the Winter Olympic Games in 2034.
But the United States and upstate New York may have part of the game as soon as 2026. Lake Placid submitting a bid to host the sliding portion of the Winter Games if Italy fails to improve their track by March of next year. If selected, they would have 3 sports and 450 athletes participating. The Olympic Village is best known for the 1980 Miracle on Ice, where Team USA defeated the Soviet Union to advance to the gold medal game in ice hockey. Though hockey wouldn't be part of the deal, Olympic regional developers say they're excited that there's a possibility that the Olympics would return 46 years later.
I think it's just a great opportunity, again, to bring a third version of the Olympics here in a very short timeline. You know, the closest that we're talking about Olympic Games, if you're starting to look at preparing for the future, is realistically 20 years away. So for us to have this opportunity to host a portion of it in about 18 months is incredible.
Lake Placid among 3 finalists to be selected. Ashley Walden tells CBS 6 the IOC will decide this fall which track will be the backup for Italy. We should mention, I think it's luge, bobsled, and skeleton. That would be the three sliding sports.
Would be great to see that happen.
So for the best.
Yeah.
All right, boycotts, protests, and a high-stakes address to Congress from the Israeli Prime Minister.
What he said as protesters were outside Capitol Hill.
Plus a whale capsizing a boat. You see it right there. Shocking video. You'll hear from the survivors and the...
Israel's prime minister speaking to Congress in his first trip outside of his country since the October 7th attacks from Hamas.
As national correspondent Mac Alka tells us, the foreign leader defended his country's actions in the war, which have been under scrutiny by protesters.
For the forces.
The planet just broke the record for the hottest day ever again. According to the European Climate Change Service, Monday beat a heat record set the day before. The global average temperature was 62.87 degrees Fahrenheit, beating Sunday's record. Climate scientists say the world is now as warm as it was 125,000 years ago due to human-caused climate change.
And
90 and 92, not mad about that.
And it's the weekend coming up.
All right, Sam, thank you. Well, sports is next, but first, here's a look at what's ahead at 5:30.
Young voters, a key demographic for this upcoming election, how each candidate is approaching Gen Z voters.
Plus, the FBI director providing new details on the investigation into the attempted assassination of Donald Trump.
All right, good day for those kids in baseball. You know?
Absolutely,
I think it
yeah.
stayed dry, so that's good. All right, coming up here on CBS 6 News at 5:30, a free day at the Saratoga Racecourse for veterans.
We hear from the veterans who were honored.
The Trump campaign taking legal action to block the Harris campaign from accessing tens of millions of dollars in
CBS 6 News starts now.
First at 5:30, your top stories and weather headlines. Here's what you need to know. A Troy restaurant owner cleaning up damage at his business after police say a 14-year-old boy went on a joyride that ended with him crashing a stolen car into the restaurant patio area. The entire incident caught on camera. Israel's prime minister spoke to a very divided Congress in his first trip outside of his country since the October 7th attacks from Hamas, defending his country's actions in the war while protests marked the streets outside. Capital Region groups at the heart of combating violence among youth receiving a boost in funding this morning. Albany's Victory Church and a local business owner handed out funds to 6 groups to keep their missions going and continue serving the youth. In-depth coverage on all of these stories online. Just head to CBS6Albany.com.
And it's 5 few minutes. Amani?
Sam, thank you. Get your weather updates anytime with the CBS 6 Weather Authority app. Find that in your app store by searching WRGB. Kamala Harris is brat. That's a phrase singer Charlie XCX used after the vice president accepted President Joe Biden's endorsement as the new Democratic candidate in the 2024 election. So what does brat mean and why does it matter? We've got team coverage as the election draws near. CBS 6's Tom Eschen speaking with Gen Z today, along with some political experts on the impact a meme can have on the election. Gen Z, the nonpartisan voter registration platform Vote.org saw a 700% increase in signups in the 48 hours after Biden's decision to drop out of the race. As Vice President Harris's campaign takes off, the Trump campaign is trying to stop her from using funds raised when Biden was still in the race. National correspondent Atra El-Nashar continues our coverage from Washington.
The 2024.
A reminder tonight at 8 o'clock, President Biden will address the nation about his decision to drop out of his 2024 presidential campaign and his endorsement of Vice President Kamala Harris. The president has been self-isolating following a COVID-19 diagnosis, but has since returned to the White House. Tune in to the address right here on CBS 6. And breaking news just coming into our newsroom, anti-gun violence advocate Donte Mitchell behind bars on an attempted murder charge, now accused of sexual assault. An indictment unsealed today in Albany County Court claims Mitchell engaged in forcible sexual contact with another person at some point between November 2021 and February 2022. Mitchell is already in custody for attempted murder after a deadly shooting in Cohoes last summer. He previously served 24 years behind bars for robbery. His sentence was commuted by former Governor Andrew Cuomo. A Rensselaer County man found guilty in a murder trial in the death of Morgan Bates. Bates was found dead on Black River Road in Stephentown in February of 2022. Ian Hazelwander was found guilty of second-degree murder. Prosecutors say he strangled and stabbed Bates to death, leaving her body at the Cherry Plain State Park. She was reported missing just a few days earlier. Hazelwander will be sentenced in September. He's facing up to 25 years to life behind bars. The FBI director telling Congress that the man who shot at former President Donald Trump was not on the FBI's radar ahead of the rally shooting in Butler, Pennsylvania. National correspondent Kayla Gaskins joins us from Capitol Hill with new details revealed during today's testimony.
Take a look at what happened.
Still to come, a free day at the race course for veterans, what it means for some of those veterans who were honored. A free day at the track was in store for veterans today from Amsterdam, and CBS 6's Sean Cavanaugh was right alongside them this afternoon at the Saratoga Racecourse.
The American Pastime Stables.
A star-studded lineup hitting the Broadview stage at SPAC this September for the first time in 11 years, and it's all for a good cause. Willie Nelson, Neil Young, Dave Matthews, and John Mellencamp, just to name a few members of the Farm Aid Board, will be on hand at the organization's annual festival, offering a day of music, family farmers, and homegrown food.
We move the festival around from year to year. That's been Willie Nelson's directive since the beginning, is to be able to showcase the work that farmers do in different parts of the country to bring them together.
Farm Aid, started by the group, organized the first concert in 1985 to raise awareness about the loss of family farms and raise funds for community farmers. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at livenation.com. All right, sounds good, Sam. Thank you. Well, coming up at 6 tonight on CBS 6, getting some exercise for a good cause. How a special disc golf tournament is making a difference in this week's Wellness Wake Up. Plus, crime caught on camera. A 14-year-old crashing into this Troy restaurant in a stolen car. What the restaurant's owner is now saying about it. And local anti-violence groups here in the Capital Region get a slight boost in funding. Tonight, we learn why they say there's not enough going around.
6 at Saratoga.
A new warning this morning about job scams, starting with text messages and ending with criminals having your personal information. As Angela Brown with the National Desk reports, these scams are on the rise.
You know the phrase?
The number of COVID cases spiking across the country. Nearly 40 states are reporting high COVID activity levels, according to the CDC. And emergency room visits are at their highest for the coronavirus since February.
Your immunity to
Current guidelines are to isolate from others until you are fever-free for at least 24 hours without the help of fever-reducing medications. Doctors also recommend taking additional measures for at least 5 more days when you are most infectious, which include continuing to isolate, wearing a mask, and opening windows. Still to come tonight and all new at 6, the horses at Saratoga Racecourse inspiring an author. We hear how in a story that's positively upstate.